that I want to emphasize is playing to your strengths. I was just talking to a woman who's starting a bag company, and I was telling her that we've had a lot of success with our blog. You know, that's been a big thing for us. And her boyfriend runs a successful clothing company, and was telling her blogging is the worst idea, the biggest waste of time, the last thing that you should be doing. But the point is, it's not that either of us is right or wrong. I guess we're both right to a degree. Mm-hmm. The thing is, like, is she going to stick with that? Is she a good writer? Is that something that she can be good at and apply herself to? In that case, it'll work. If you're doing it because someone told you that's what you're supposed to do, then it probably won't. You know, for us, I've had the background in marketing and advertising. We do a little bit of that. It works well for us. A lot of people try videos and those don't work out well, but if you can speak well about the topic like China that other people aren't doing.
Well, you can be terrible at it too and learn to be good.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
200 videos later and hosting a TV show, I think I got it down a little bit better than staring blankly into a Canon camera.
And it's not anything fancy, right? You guys turn the camera on and speak about something that you know about,
well,
right?
Again, just learn through experience.
And pretty much everyone here said that they heard about it in China from those videos, right? Yeah, it's, you know, it's a big thing. So we've kind of tried to play to our strengths. My partner went to film school, so, you know, we try to use that to an advantage. We do a lot of videos way cheaper than if we hired someone. We do a lot of photos that are cheaper than if we were paying someone. So I guess what I want to emphasize at the first point is what can you do that either you're good at, you're knowledgeable about, or even that you'll just show some passion about, like in the videos, and focus your efforts there. Don't go down the rabbit hole of doing something because someone told you to. Playing your strengths and focusing on what you're passionate about is going to be much more productive.
It's the same thing on product too.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at, right, a lot of people are going to the fair looking at a million products. You know,
focus on what you're excited about, what excites you.
And then you might spend 5 or 10 years on it.
Exactly. This is like a marker. And what's really great, and just Gary Vaynerchuk says this really well in his book, crush it. So if you're comfortable on camera, get on camera. If you're a better writer, be a writer. If you're better at speaking, speak. Podcast, blog, written content, there's video content. Where are you comfortable? Because like if you're on camera and you're uncomfortable, guarantee the people watching you are uncomfortable and they don't want to watch you.
I hate listening to myself.
Yeah, well, if you hate listening to yourself, then you should be a writer. You know, is your strength writing? You know,
or has someone else edit your podcast?
Yeah, or is
the final version.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, do you provide the structure and then someone else, like, it's all, there's a science to it. There always is. But yeah, it's perfect. Play to your strengths. I love it.
So second thing I wanted to talk about, and this is kind of an advantage of being the small, medium business, the new company, but showing your work. You start to see this, I'm seeing it a lot now with Kickstarters, but people are kind of documenting the process. Like Winston, you were talking earlier about going to these fabric markets and finding every piece that goes together in your clothes. I don't know if that was part of your Kickstarter, but stuff like that, even though it may seem like way too detail-oriented and not really part of the product or part of the market that you're trying to reach, but if people are really into your category and your niche, people are going to eat that up. We've started doing, we try to document everything. So before new products come out, we'll be posting pictures of samples on Facebook and on our blog. You know, we ask people for feedback. We send out surveys about new stuff to see what people are using now, what we can do better, things like that. But any way that you can kind of show people what you're doing helps. So part of it is that, you know, people are really, so for backpacks, right? People who travel are really passionate about their backpacks. So they love seeing all the details, you know, what goes into it, why we did this feature and didn't do that feature. You're gonna get the really hardcore people. You'll get hard questions about it, but it's okay if you don't know the answer to every single thing. If people see that you're trying to answer it, you're getting better, you care about the subject, then it'll be fine, it'll work out.
Yep.
Did you have
No.
question?
Yeah, really quick, like for example, with your guys' product, there's no reason right now you could not send out a survey to the salsa dancing community. I'm sure there's Facebook groups, I'm sure there's associations, I'm sure your friends and your network are also salsa dancers. Are you asking them what are their biggest problems, what are their biggest concerns, what would they like to see, what do they think of this design? The list goes on and on and on, and they tell you exactly what it should be. And this is what we've done with Enter China. We sent out a huge survey to all our email lists. What do you guys want? And it was overwhelming for manufacturing. It's like, I can teach people how to import. The first thing I tell you, don't do it. You know, if you want to do it, then okay, let's go down that rabbit hole, but it's a long one. But the majority of people got back to us, manufacturing, e-commerce, product development. Okay, and that is exactly how we've repositioned and created content for it. There's no guesswork. You don't have to, there's no guessing, is this business going to work? You go ask people what they want, and you build it, right? And you're doing this so well because you're showing these people, and they're telling you, oh, I like this feature, I don't, here's a survey. That right there saves you so much guessing. A business shouldn't be a guess. It should be decided, and now it's up to you to drive it.
And you'll gain loyal followers like that. When they know that they've got an input on what you're doing,
Oh, yeah.
oh my God.
And that you're listening and that you give
Yeah,
a shit.
Yeah,
they'll
that you
be
care.
loyal.
It's like, oh my God, this guy cares about, like, I'm sure.
Because you're a big company, like, your big company competitors aren't doing any of that stuff, right? They're better at a lot of things, and you can complain about all that, like, oh, they have the money to advertise, they can do this, they can do that. But focus on what you can do that they can't do, or that they won't do.
Yeah, that
Right.
they won't do.
Being small, being nimble, showing that you screwed something up, you know, show a sample that you fucked up. People appreciate that, that's, you know, just being honest.
I want to add that, like, my pants, the fulfillment is late, but I show them every picture of me, like, look at me, I'm at this supplier getting this little thing, this supplier getting this little thing, and they're like, oh, we didn't know, like, it was like that.
Yeah,
And they
people are
understand.
not stupid, they understand.
Yeah, and they're, oh, it makes sense.
You can buy yourself a little time, right, with some
Yeah,
honesty.
Transparency is key for every part of your bit. The second you try and start hiding something, you just start burying yourself.
But what about a product that you've already made, that you finished, and you want to do some type of Kickstarter or something?
Well, I'm gonna jump into that
Yes,
after
you'll get into that.
Fred finishes.
Yeah, we've, and we can also talk about it later, but we've started doing, like, we kind of figure out a product and then we've been pre-selling it, so like, our own Kickstarter kind of things, but.
And we
I
do
know-
tilt with
Yeah.
Because let's just say I have some money,
Yeah.
I want to invest in a product, and I think it's going to be good, so I just go ahead and make it.
Well, there's many steps to do before that, and we'll jump into that after.
Yeah.
I'm just,
number
I
two
guess
early
my question
to be-
is, if you have money, you don't want to rely on Kickstarter for the funding, but you want to rely on promoting the product.
Yeah, crowdfunding is I think is the last priority is the money. It's the market validation, it's the exposure, it's the free
Gotcha.
marketing, it's doing everything that we're talking about right now on a global scale. And essentially you're asking, do people want this or not? And
So I guess there's plus and minus. If you already got it designed, then no one's going to have input on how it should be.
but you
If
can
have it
but
finished,
but that's for your
then
first,
it's
yeah,
done.
but also it's like your first product. Like maybe this is the first wallet I
Oh.
make, but people, I can
You
send
get
out
their
I can send out a
ideas.
survey. What color would be best next?
Then you can
And
change.
if 98% of people say black and 2% say white, I guess I'm making a black wallet. You know, who wants a money clip in here versus who wants slotted for dollars?
So even if you have it, maybe, you know.
Yeah, and it's all about the iterations. And a lot of people,
At
it's
least
just,
you can show, look, I've made this. I
Yeah.
do have it, so I can do it, but let's get your input.
yeah, and it's the very beginning. Crowdfunding's only
And
the
that could
very
be the
first.
second product too, or third, or fourth, or
Yeah,
fifth, or
and you
whatever.
have the product line and the iterations and your community support.
People will speak up, especially if you're willing to like be transparent and be honest with them. You will hear more than enough feedback. From
Yeah, it's crazy how vocal people are.
Um,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, some of it you have to ignore. You know, get rid of the outliers like we were talking about, the crazies.
A lot of assholes out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people ask if Tim and I are a couple. That's weird.
Oh, you're not?
Didn't know. Huh? Get that
I get a
one.
lot of like, I like your bag, but here are the 10 qualifications that I need for my really specific use case. So would you build that like for me personally? No.
Yeah, 80-20 principle, make it for the majority. There's always going to be a minority on each end that are not satisfied in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
It's like, sorry man, I'm not making that. That's not what I'm doing.
Yeah. You have to
You get
focus on
100
what's
grand,
going
I'll
to
make
make
it
you
for
money.
you.
Yeah.
And back to even the survey part, there's a lot you can do with something like that. So like we were getting into packing cubes, which are basically an accessory to organize your stuff, but they're pretty much a commodity. A lot of brands sell them. People usually just buy the cheapest thing. But we thought it would be a good upsell for people. If you're buying a bag, great, we'll sell this to you for a bit more. Very easy to add that to your order. So we did a survey to try to see what people are using now, what they like, what they don't like, what would make them switch, stuff like that. Then we published the results. on the blog. So there's a blog post, people get to see how other people are using the cubes. And then I just took a bunch of that language and wrote the product page for that. So
You do
people
it
were
with all
saying,
your blog.
yeah.
How do you get people to come to your blog?
So we've been doing it for a while, which helps. But
So what's advice for someone who's never done a blog to get people to,
yeah,
how
so
can you advertise?
I mean, one is posting something worthwhile. So a lot of people get into it and think, okay, you post, you know,
But how do they come
5
to your
tips
blog?
for
How do they
whatever.
know to go to your blog to read it?
Hustle.
tell people, spread the word, Facebook, social media,
Friends,
post-
family,
just
digital,
post wherever
digital
it makes
marketing,
sense.
guest posting,
Instagram?
affiliates, Instagram, any social
learn the
media.
basics of SEO, so it'll
I
show up
mean,
in Google.
Yeah, YouTube, Google Plus, and then you just start building a list from there.
I mean, our most popular post is, it's not even really packing related, but happened to end up ranking for like Airbnb competitors, Airbnb alternatives, so any kind of search like that, we show up like first or second. It's just a post from a few years ago and we get tons of traffic. It's a longer term play. You know, it's a hard thing and that's why it's something you care about or are good at.
A lot of people buy from Instagram now also.
Yeah, Instagram's a huge converter.
I know someone here who sells to Dubai, in the Middle East, and they told me that they get a lot of business from Instagram. So they'll post pictures and then put a link in the comments and the hashtags, and they can generate revenue from just their Instagram page.
Yeah, Facebook's number one right now with digital marketing, followed by Instagram, and then I think Pinterest or Twitter is next after that. Something like that. Yeah, Instagram's 40 to 60 days. A follower becomes a consumer, and Facebook's 20 to 40, something like that. Facebook's insane, by the way. We're gonna jump into that after this, but yeah.
Yeah, we've had some good luck there, and we primarily, like, we post some content and stuff, but a lot of it is just like behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like the stuff I've been talking about, that's showing your work with like, here's a sketch, we're working on this, here's a first sample, that kind of stuff. And if you want a really good example, probably the most transparent company is, it's called Buffer. They're kind of like a social media tool and plugin, but they have a whole section of their blog that's just how they run their company. They have, basically everything is totally public that they do. Their salaries are public, everything. They're kind of an extreme example, but a good one to look at and pick and choose from what they do.
What was that called?
Buffer, yeah.